Hi, I'm Marvin Ambrosius.
And I'm Rick Godfrey.
And we're here to talk about men's health. Could you tell us a little bit about your WW journey so far?
Yeah, I joined about 5 years ago and I lost 3 stone. Things happened in my life and I wanted a career change, so I enjoyed my time with WW so much that I became a coach.
Wow, that's inspiring. Now, in regards to that first stone, just bring me back to the first moments when you started to lose that weight and see the changes.
It felt like a long time ago now, but I think what it was I started feeling more confident. The clothes weren't quite so tight. I could get into those clothes that I kind of like was stretching a bit. And so it was just those small, it wasn't necessarily about being a stone lighter. It was how I felt and how I looked and how the clothes felt on me.
No, exactly. I know exactly how you feel, because it's the same thing with myself. When I lost a certain amount of weight, I still wanted to feel different within my clothes.
Yeah.
And when I first lost that first stone, it did become something I wanted to get all the time. So it is a great feeling. But following on from that, what was the trigger that got you to actually go, I'm going to go with WW and this is what I want to do?
What took me back? Because I'd been a member before, but what took me? What brought me through that door?
Again,
Okay, I just started training to be a primary school teacher, and I think what it was I knew I'd have to teach PE, so that was the hook that took me back. I'd been wanting to go back for a while because I'd lost some weight slowly on my own, but I needed the focus and the support of WW.
No, exactly, because it's with that advice and guidance on the way, and sometimes you need that little bit of help.
Yeah.
Someone else. I called to a lot of people and a lot of different advice, a lot of different communities just to try and help myself. And then you realise when you tag in from those members, how does it feel with the community that you've got within WW, like the members? And you said you're a coach now.
Yeah.
How does that feel where you can reach out and gravitate to those people?
Well, the thing about the workshop is the members and the members' experience and the fact that you're all going through the same journey. I think that's the key. The support. In teaching, we used to have a phrase called scaffolding. You would scaffold someone's learning, and so the more scaffolding you can have around yourself, even if, say, for one moment you're not really feeling the support from one area, you can get it from another. So you keep that continuity on your journey.
Exactly. Learning from yourself and giving to others, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Now, within the mindset and obviously the mental state that you're in, where you get to, how did it feel when you'd felt like you'd got down to the bottom? Because I know I got to a low, and that low was of a point of where I didn't want to go outside. I didn't want to really see anybody because I just didn't like how I looked anymore. That was in with how I felt. Where did you get to where that's where you got to the change?
Oh yeah, I would always dread going out because it's just like, well, I just look ridiculous in everything. So, but then when I became a teacher, and this was about 3 years into my journey with WW, I found that within 5 years, stresses from the job and probably unresolved issues with myself. I actually had a nervous breakdown as a teacher. In hindsight, it was probably the best thing that could have happened to me. It might sound a bit strange, but it kind of brought everything out to the open. It enabled me, because I left teaching, it enabled me to become a coach. And so I'm really passionate about the mindset. And to this day, there are situations that might come up, and I know that from my previous experience, actually, I can deal with this in a different way.
No, definitely. I'm sorry to hear about that as well. But similar to yourself, it's like having part of fitness, and I explain this a lot to people, is about mental fitness. And I guess to get to that breaking down point, you had to basically recalibrate and dissect your entire situation and start from scratch, basically.
It's like if you were to break a leg, then you've got to go through rehabilitation there, and get the muscles working again properly. So I've never broken an arm or a leg, but I just thought, oh, I've broken my head. Yeah,
and
exactly, and I found my own way of I used my experience with my members and my career and I did lots and lots of walking, and I started being more active.
And what would you say is the best advice you can give to someone? And even to myself, is trying to give people advice about when you got to that lowest point of the pit. Like, what is the first steps you think you should take to getting out of it? Because I feel like my first steps was talking to people.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, totally. And finding some sort of support, and realising, because by talking to people, you realise that actually you're not alone. You're not the only person in this situation. Something I found, because I've always been really open about my breakdown, and all my members know I had a breakdown. And there have been occasions where people, I met one member in a cafe by accident once, and she came up to me and said, actually, thank you for being so open. I had a breakdown and I kept it secret for 25 years.
wow.
So there's absolutely no, I personally feel there's no stigma attached to it. And actually, it can be that your brain's just kind of reorganising itself and thinking, well, actually, this isn't right for me. Let's go down this road.
No, that is the best advice, because especially speaking from your perspective, being someone that's gone through it, the best advice getting it from is from yourself. So with you being a coach now, like, that is an unbelievable achievement, by the way, so kudos to you on
Thank
that.
you.
And just going from the beginning to becoming a coach. Now, I know you run part of the man members of WW as well, so you do a lot of things. So like, how did that come about, and how did you get so actively involved? Because you kind of jumped 10 stages forward and kind of said, I'm going to take this on board and I'm going to be a champion for the men.
Well, actually, in my Weight Watchers interview, I actually said that I was really passionate about trying to get more men involved with WW, because I could see the fact that it wasn't just a diet, it was more to it, and it was more holistic. And I knew from my workshop when I was a member that so many people are missing out from that support and that experience, and just making their lives better through WW. And I think because I was always talking about these sort of things, and I even was interviewed by my local paper about my breakdown and my new career and what I wanted to bring to the role. And when we decided to expand the Connect feature on our amazing app, they put in a WW Bros. If you put hashtag WW Bros, you can find stories from all around the world. It's amazing. And so I'm the admin for the WW Bros group on Connect on the app.
That is amazing, and obviously because that's a worldwide thing as well, and creating for so much people. How do you feel that something that could be seen as something so negative when you were down, and turning that now into such a big positive? Like, how does that make you feel? Like, it must make you feel just amazing.
It does. I don't think I've ever been so passionate about anything. And actually, on the group, it's a real safe place for us guys to actually drop the mask, drop the bravado, and say, actually, I'm having a really tough time today. And it's amazing because all the other bros, they'll go, oh, you're doing brilliant, just keep on with it.
Support everyone.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
And with being supported, sometimes, like, we're not perfect.
No.
I'm not perfect. As much as I want to do things, I have my dips, I have my falls and failures, but I've realised that with failure, the only way you can succeed is to fail. So within what you've done and like how you've done it, when somebody falls off the wagon and they've kind of fallen for a long time, like, how do you hone them back in?
I think it's really important to learn how to be reflective, to sort of think about why it happened, what led to it happening, and see it as an opportunity to sort of head it off next time it sort of starts manifesting itself. I've had examples in my own life where I can feel the sort of stresses that I might be getting from when I was a teacher, and I'm thinking, oh, right, stop. Okay, step back. Yeah. There's no shame in saying, actually, I can't do this. And then let's refocus my energy positively to grow as a person.
That's brilliant. That's exactly what I think we should all try and do and aspire to be in. But you mentioned earlier as well about losing 3 stone. Now, do you have an end goal, or are you just kind of on the lifestyle journey? Because I always say, diets are temporary, lifestyles are forever.
Yeah.
And I know you're on a lifestyle journey, so where would you say is your point of, I'm good?
I reckon I'm about halfway there. I know that I feel happier when I'm healthier and carrying less weight, and I can feel. A couple of years ago, I didn't go to a wedding because I knew I thought I'd look ridiculous in a suit, and it was apparently a perfectly lovely wedding.
Yeah,
So and it's that kind of thing. It's just like, well, so by being healthier and more confident, that sort of thing doesn't crop up. Even if I'm a bit, there might be people there I don't know. If I'm on a table I don't know, hey, you're more confident. You've got a story to tell. You're interested in people. So, yeah, that's part and parcel of it. But you're right. I recently changed my kind of focus to a different approach to my body.
Yeah.
So.
And we were talking earlier on, actually, about something that you've got coming up and something you're quite passionate about going on a trip and doing something new. Like, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, last year I went to Copenhagen. Lovely place, by the way. Yeah. And I saw people hiring kayaks for the harbour because their harbour is amazingly clean. You can swim in it. It's incredible. And I thought next year, because I have a Danish friend, so I go and stay with her, I thought next year I want to do that. So that is my aim. So hopefully when the day comes, we've already picked who we're going to hire from. So we just need to make that booking, and we're both going to do it. So that's what I've been working at, is making sure that I'm comfortable sitting in a kayak.
And would you say that, like, I've always said short-term goals are the best rather than long-term, only because if you have mini goals, I've realised that you can make a multitude of goals, like 20 goals, but then you reach all of them at a distant, long period of time. Now, do you believe having one goal is better than having a multitude of little ones?
I think that you need a why. So your goals create your why. Yeah. So my goal is to lose a bit more weight before my holiday, to make it easy for me to sit in that kayak. But the reason I'm doing it is because I want to be in that kayak, seeing Copenhagen from a different angle. Yeah. But certainly, lots of small goals. It's kind of little steps, and you'll get there. Because if you have too big a goal, if my 3 stone that I want to lose,
that's a huge goal.
It's like if I'm just thinking about 3 stone, but if I'm just thinking about it as either as half a stone a time, or maybe a non-scale victory, sort of maybe actually I want to be able to get into a size whatever trouser, or I want to be able to wear a suit to a wedding. Those are the achievable things, and those feel more real, certainly to me, than a random number.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, exactly.
3, I don't know.
Yeah, no, precisely.
Yeah.
And with getting back into fitness, what would be the best advice that you can give on how you started and you got into your fitness journey?
Well, at school, I didn't like PE. I was one of those kids, and I didn't like my PE teacher, and so exercise is a bit of an anathema to me. But I've always liked to be active, and so I've always looked for things that I enjoy. I like going for really long walks in the countryside, and I've tried things like dancing, Lindy Hop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, when members come in and they talk about activity, they go, "Well, I don't like the gym." Well, don't go to the gym then. Find something that you do enjoy. But what's very strange is now I really like the gym. Yeah. So all those times where I didn't like the gym, it's finally clicked. And I think what's made the difference is on the app, there's an amazing coached fitness section on the app, and it's just changed. I look forward going to the gym now. It's also, I could go today, couldn't I?
That's really good.
But actually, talking about kind of mental approach to your body, I decided to go for purely vanity reasons this time. I'd always struggled with the cardio because I found it really boring.
Yeah.
And so I thought, give it another go, and don't go for the boring stuff. Go to try and, I want to change my body shape as well as losing weight. And, we were talking about how not necessarily about that number, which
Yeah.
can be a bit abstract, but how you feel about yourself.
Yes, exactly.
So I kind of want to stretch t-shirts in the right areas.
That's a really good say. I'm actually going to steal that. I'm going to steal that from you. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
And actually, so I've been back at the gym for a couple of months now. I'm absolutely loving it, and I can feel my confidence changing, my physical confidence changing, which is helping my mental confidence, and I can feel it's making a difference. So that when I go and do my kayaking, I'm going to be prepared.
You're going to be ready.
Because I'll be stronger, yeah.
And how has that helped in terms of your health benefits overall, not just within your aesthetics? Like, how has that helped?
Well, actually, I mean, you know, another reason that I joined WW, and actually the fitness I've gained from it and the weight loss, is I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
How long ago was that?
It was, well, it's one of the reasons I joined, so probably
Yeah.
about 5 years ago. And my weight loss initially, and subsequently my activity has normalised my blood sugars.
Amazing.
So I'm no longer on
That's awesome.
on the medication.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because sometimes if I do have some sugar quite late at night, I can feel the symptoms. I can feel I'm really thirsty.
Wow.
And it's like, oh, hang about. Yeah, remember why you're doing this, your health
Yeah.
benefits.
So you got that extra reason to whereas
yeah.
now it's not just about the aesthetic or the weight loss, it's
No.
about overall
Oh,
total
yeah.
well-being now.
Well,
I think we all forget about that
Yeah.
sometimes. We think it goes to vanity, like you said I'm going to do it for vanity reasons
Yeah.
now, whereas overall, really, it's for us.
Yeah, so if you approach it with the areas that you enjoy and approach it in that positive manner and actually kind of enjoying the process and enjoying becoming healthier, the weight loss and the health benefits come with it.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you're just concentrating on the weight loss and the health benefits, that can be a bit boring.
Yeah.
So
I
you
get
need you need something that's going to engage you sort of mentally and physically, and then the rest of it comes with it.
And I think something you've touched on, which is something that I've always preached out, is as much as it's good to have a routine, you've become quite spontaneous within your journey.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really cool. And that kind of comes down to like the relationship with food as well.
Yeah.
So in terms of recipes and foods, like what's your go-to meal? What's your cheat meal? Like what are things have you learnt along the way about what you like and what you don't like?
I use a lot of zero-pointed foods because they just I really love them. I used to be that man who kind of would maybe have fish twice a year.
Oh wow, okay.
Now I had fish 4 nights running. It's just like,
do you have a variation of fish? Do you go to salmon? Do you go to trout? Like where do you go?
Anywhere. Whatever's looking good. Good. Yeah.
See, spontaneous, exactly what we said.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that concentrating on the zero foods allows you to have that spontaneity, because it's like, I mean, recently I just wanted a pizza.
Yeah.
And because I'd eaten zeros, I could have a pizza. But because of WW and being mindful about my eating, I didn't have a big round one, which
You didn't?
No. Apparently they feed 2.
Yeah, okay, so we actually looked at the labels and stuff.
Yeah, and I had one of those pizzas, those slightly long ones that are for 1, and you know, it was enough.
And I think that's when you touch on it, realising that your brain sometimes you size up things with your eyes.
Yeah.
And I always say never shop on an empty stomach. That's the worst
Right.
thing to do. But with doing that, you looked at it and just saw, this is for me. I'm going to try it. But you gave yourself the chance to try it.
Yeah.
Whereas before, you would have went for a big one.
I would have just gone for a big one. I really enjoyed it, and you know, since then I haven't had the need for pizza. So yeah, I think that sort of flexibility of freestyle it's great. And actually, kind of just if I want that, if I go for a coffee, I love my coffee. If I want a piece of cake, I will have a piece of cake. If it's right for me in that moment, and then what I'll do is after that, I'll just get back on to the plan.
Yeah.
And because if I wanted that piece of cake and I decided I wasn't going to have it, I'd be going mad.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then it will carry on to the next day. And it's just like
then
when you... Yeah,
that's when you're going to treat yourself up. You know, it's about, actually, I can do that because this is a very livable livable plan we've got at WW, and it enables you to just get on with your life.
Yeah, and I think you've touched on exactly something that we're probably both very guilty of in the past, is that you make that little decision on the Friday, but it follows through to the Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what you've learned to do, which is the most important thing, is to say, no, actually, I'm going to allow myself to have this now.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not going to think about it tomorrow. And that power of the mind is
Yeah.
so important. I think the fact that you've got to that mastery level now,
Yeah.
and you're a coach and passing it to other people. I say mastery.
Yeah.
It is. Think of it. How many
Yeah,
years?
yeah,
How many
yes.
years did it take to
yeah,
get there?
yeah.
And I say to
Compared
people,
to-
like,
yeah.
you got to think to yourself, it's easy to say, let's go and work out and do this, but no, physical is one thing, but getting it in your mindset to do that is incredible.
But you just said about kind of not letting it carry on day after day. You know, I've always made sure I went to my workshop, even when I was struggling mentally. Saturday morning at my workshop was my refuge. It was nothing to do with what was going on outside that place, that moment. And it was, I really look forward to Saturday mornings. And then I would come out of it feeling much happier. And it was that keep going. I kept going. I came through the difficult periods. And where I am now is so much better. So much better.
It's so good because you've gone through empowerment, community, people, fun, spontaneity, commitment. Like, there's so many different levels to it, and it's not just about total well-being. It's as a person. Like, you just seem like you've achieved what I've always said to people is the most important, is just to feel one with yourself.
Yeah.
And you seem like you're on your way there. And
Thank
do you
you.
feel like from if you looked back at 6 years ago and you had a conversation with yourself, like, what was the first thing you'd say to yourself?
Be kind to yourself, because sometimes you're so eager to please and do things for other people that you kind of lose track of what makes you you, what makes you happy. You know, no matter how stressful your job is becoming, if you don't take that time to go out for that walk, to go to the cinema, you stop being you, and then that doesn't help anybody, especially yourself.
And you're absolutely right, and I 100% agree with you.